So I've waited a couple of days to make this video because I was pretty triggered at the way that the Portland Trail Blazers lost against the Washington Wizards. It wasn't the fact that they lost, it was just the way in which they lost. So many mistakes, so many mental errors, and just a lack of adjustments from the coaching staff, a lack of effort on defense and overtime. It was just a combination of many things that had me ripping my hair out, but I didn't want to record a day after recap without being level-headed. So that's why it's coming to you guys a couple days later, because we did have a couple days off between that Wizards game and this upcoming Orlando Magic game. So when we have, 2 or 3 days off, it might be a couple days after the game that I recap it, just to kind of put it in the middle of that dead stretch where there's not much going on, and especially during a loss, man, because I'm somebody who absolutely hates losing. It could be checkers, it could be chess, it could be Chinese checkers. I don't care. If I lose, I hate it. I hate to lose, possibly more than I like to win. I'm super competitive, so I take losses hard, man. It's part of being a true Blazer fan. Maybe you guys are a little better at it, but I know me personally, I hate when the Blazers lose, especially when it's a game that the Washington Wizards tried to hand to them multiple times. The Washington Wizards were out there shooting like they wanted to lose the game. Portland had so many opportunities to win this game, and they couldn't. CJ McCollum had a downright awful performance. 5 for 25 from the field. I don't understand, when a dude is struggling that bad on offense, why he still shoots 25 times. I mean, he still has to be aggressive. He can flip the switch on at any moment. But when you got guys like Nick Stauskas who can hit shots, Seth Curry who can hit shots, Evan Turner who's been playing better, you got options to replace him, and it was obvious that he just didn't have it. Now, it'd be one thing if CJ McCollum passed the ball well, but he doesn't. He missed many open teammates during this game. It'd be one thing if CJ McCollum was a good defender. He's not. So when CJ's not scoring, he doesn't bring anything. So he hurt us because he was missing about everything that he threw up. Damian Lillard didn't shoot too well either. 2 for 10 from the three-point line, 7 for 21 from the field for 33%. But he did get to the free throw line 15 times, so he didn't really have an inefficient outing, as when you get to the line that much due to that aggressiveness, it's a good thing. In contrast, CJ McCollum, for his 25 field goals, shot 2 free throws. Nick Stauskas had another solid game, 5 for 10 off the bench, 3 for 6 from the three-point line in 30 minutes. He played a ton. Evan Turner was 5 for 10 as well, with 3 assists and 10 points, and he was a +6. He was a huge help off the bench. And for the third game in a row, our bench played very, very solid, and that's a very promising development. Al-Farouq Aminu had his first good game of the season, shooting 6 for 8 from the field and 3 for 5 from the three-point line, with 16 points and 15 rebounds. So it's not like there's not good performances here, but as a team, Portland just played absolutely awful defense and did not play a smart game. Now I'm going to break down a few of their defensive possessions down the stretch that basically just represents all the mistakes they made throughout this entire game. After Nick Stauskas hit that big go-ahead 3, you had the Wizards looking for 3. They inbound to John Wall. Damian Lillard plays awful defense, doesn't close out, just flies past John Wall, and John Wall now has an open 3. Damian Lillard, you gotta play better defense than that. You gotta close out better. But I mean, at this point, you got Al-Farouq Aminu on Bradley Beal, who's probably their best option in this scenario. That's the guy you definitely want to guard. He's notorious for killing the Blazers, had 51 against us in Portland last year, is definitely their best shooter on the court. Meanwhile, you got John Wall with an open three-point attempt, but he doesn't really look like he wants to shoot it, and that's because he's not a great three-point shooter. He's only shot 32.5% for his career. But what does Al-Farouq Aminu do? He sprints over to John Wall, leaving Bradley Beal wide open at the top of the key. It made absolutely no sense to me. And when Bradley Beal caught this ball, I knew without a doubt that he was going to knock down this shot. and I don't understand what was going through their mind on this play. Terry Stotts said he wanted them to foul, but you don't sell out on the ball handler and leave a great shooter one pass away wide open. That made no sense to me. You let John Wall shoot that shot. If he hits that, fine. A bad shooter hit a good shot, but you don't leave a great shooter wide open. So anyway, even though Portland should have won it with a good defensive possession at the end of regulation, it sent it into overtime. And then for some reason, we just decided to let Markieff Morris shoot the ball again and again and again. Even though he was hitting absolutely everything, we still did not close out. Markieff Morris had 6 threes against us. He was 6 for 10 from the 3-point line. In 25 minutes, he had 28 points. And I don't know if Nurkic was too gassed. I don't know if it's because Nurkic is just too immobile of a big man to guard the pick and roll and then recover to a guy popping behind the 3-point line. Either way, I don't understand why Zach Collins wasn't in the game, because Zach Collins had fresh legs. He only ended up playing 19 minutes in this game, and he's a lot more mobile, so he wouldn't have had any of those issues. He could have guarded the pick and roll, and with his mobility, he could have closed out on Markieff Morris's 3-point attempts and made it at least a much tougher shot than a wide open 3. I mean, it was at the point that during this possession, Nurkic said to Lillard to switch the pick and roll no matter what, and Nurkic ended up on John Wall in a mismatch, and John Wall hit a shot. Now, I know he banked it in, but honestly, when you got John Wall against Jusuf Nurkic, Nurkic is going to lose that battle more often than not. Now, I don't know if Nurkic wanted to switch this pick and roll because he was too gassed to recover to Markieff Morris, or if he just knew he didn't have a chance of recovering because he's not mobile enough. But Terry Stotts, man, you've ended the past 2 games with Zach Collins in against the Lakers and the Spurs. So it's not like you haven't finished the game with Zach Collins before. So I don't understand why Zach Collins wasn't in the game during this overtime session where he could have actually guarded Markieff Morris and not let him jack up 3 after 3 after 3. It made absolutely no sense to me. It seemed to me that he was figuring it out, knowing when to play Zach Collins, finishing with Zach Collins down the stretch, which was the right move in the first 2 games, and then he made the mistake of leaving a gassed Jusuf Nurkic in on Markieff Morris. That's just bad defense and bad coaching all wrapped up in one. Combined with bad defense throughout the game, combined with sloppy passing, Portland had 19 turnovers, including 5 from Dame and 2 from every starter. It was just a mistake-filled game that they lost. They still had a chance to win. John Wall missed both free throws, so he wasn't clutch even when he had the opportunity to be. He missed both free throws here, and Portland had a chance to win. Dame drove the lane against 3 people and got blocked, even though he had Nick Stauskas wide open on this pass. And this is a pass that Dame made to Nick Stauskas at the end of regulation, and Nick Stauskas actually hit the shot. But for some reason, Dame tries to drive against 3 people instead of making this pass. It would have been cool to see Nick Stauskas, after this horrible game for the entire team, bail him out with another 3-pointer, but it just wasn't meant to be. So Portland is going to try and redeem themselves tomorrow against the Orlando Magic. The Magic aren't a good team, so Portland needs to come out of this game with a 3-1 record, or else you kill all the momentum you built in the first 2 games. Washington has Aaron Gordon, who's likely their best player. He's a fun guy to watch. He's athletic. Nikola Vucevic has had a very good start to his season, and that's going to be a tough matchup for Jusuf Nurkic, but I do think that Nurkic can win that battle. Portland definitely has a much better backcourt. I don't even know who the Magic are starting at the backcourt spots. I think they're starting DJ Augustine, and he's a horrible defender for a point guard, so Dame should be able to cook him. Jonathan Simmons might be their starting 2, or Evan Fournier, but neither of those players are really all that good. Evan Fournier is a horrible defender as well. Blazer fans, you guys will get your first chance to see a guy named Mohamed Bamba, who was the 6th pick in last year's NBA draft and is a center for the Orlando Magic. He's 7'1", with something like a 7'10" wingspan, and he can shoot 3s, and he's a great shot blocker. This dude will probably be the next Rudy Gobert. I honestly think this dude will be a perennial all-star. He'll be a Gobert level defender in my opinion with a 3-point shot. Just imagine that. But he's still getting used to the NBA. He'll be coming off the bench. So Zach Collins versus Mohamed Bamba is going to be a very fun matchup to watch between a 20-year-old and a 19-year-old. These bigs are the future of our league, both of them being able to defend the rim and hit 3-point shots. So anyway, true Blazer fans, I hope you guys didn't take the loss as hard as I did, because that was pretty frustrating. So that's all I got for now. I hope you guys have a great day. Peace out. Go Blazers.